It's Thursday, July 5th, and you're listening to the Geek at Geek News Central show number 779, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our July special, Get.com, for just $4.95. Purchase up to 3 domains. Use code GEEK. $4.95 GEEK. Hey, folks, Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. I got a great show lined up for you, and we're going to start tonight what is going to be the biggest giveaway with a little twist that we've ever done. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right. I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and I want to encourage you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all our great content over there. Of course, we have great writers that are always putting together news articles on tech, science, and so forth. Of course, this show is produced every Monday and Thursday night, along with the Gadget Professor, Robot Underpants, the Chrome Show, our special media events, and of course, Saturday Morning Tech. So once you're over on the website, get subscribed to the show. It's real easy to do. You'll find links there to iTunes, Zune, regular RSS feeds, so that way you can get subscribed to the show. That way you'll never miss a single episode. And of course, get signed up for our newsletter. The newsletter really covers everything I'm going to cover during the show tonight. So immediately following the show, I put the show notes together, get it all ready to publish. And as I do, I go ahead and email that out so that basically when you look in your inbox, and most of you are going to be getting up early in the morning after the show's been produced because I'm out here in Honolulu. That will be right there for you so you can follow along with the specific articles I've covered. Don't forget our show notes are now at gncsshownotes.com. We've got them over there so that Google doesn't hammer my page rank and so forth at GNC, so that's important. So all the show notes are at gncsshownotes.com. You'll find a link to it in today's show link. Of course, I want you to feel free to reach out to me here at the show at any time. You can do so by reaching me on Twitter at Geek News. Email address is geeknews@gmail.com. And of course, the hotline is open 24 hours a day at 619-342-7365. I wanted to say welcome to all of you that are in the chat room tonight, those of you that stayed up late. And I know we had put an event out on Google+. I want to thank you guys for coming out. And basically, many of you were up probably way later than you should be. So thanks for hanging out here. Of course, lots going on here in the household, and we'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. But let's take care of a little business right off at the top of the hour, or basically top of the show here. The show is sponsored in part, of course, by GoDaddy.com. We've got a great promotion for the month of July. If you've been thinking about a few domain names and you haven't picked them up, we've got a special offer for you. You're going to be able to get .coms for just $4.95. Now, that's about $3 off the normal going price. You can get up to 3 domains with this using the promo code. Of course, you can use the promo code at GoDaddy. And you basically, all you got to do is link to it from my website as well. That'll get it in your cache, essentially. And all it is $4.95 Geek. $4.95 Geek. That's only good for the month of July. GoDaddy's a 7-year-long sponsor here at Geek News Central. We want to thank them for their continued support. Don't forget to get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You're going to find all of my promo codes. We've got a promo code, though, for every occasion, whether it be a domain name, a hosting account, whether it be an SSL certificate, you name it. Definitely check it out. And we want to thank GoDaddy for being, again, a longtime sponsor here at GNC. And what we're going to do this month, and this is an interesting move on my part, but send me proof that you have either purchased a hosting account, you bought a server, bought an SSL certificate, you purchased a domain, whatever it may be. Just send me a proof. And all you really have to do is send me the receipt from GoDaddy from your purchase from today. until the end of the month, and you're going to be entered to win a $250 cash prize just for supporting our sponsor from a little way for me to give back to you. And definitely check out all the codes again at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Well, one thing I did get a few days ago, and let me show you guys this package. Hang on a second. And for those of you that are listening, you're not going to be able to see this, but in the mail came this envelope, and in it was a letter from the Internal Revenue Service. And they basically sent me a 15-page thing saying, hey, we can't find one of your documents and send us $891 by a certain date, or else. So basically what happened is my 2010 filing, I had been still going to school at that time, and I got a 1098T, which is for tuition. Took the tuition basically deduction that you can. And lo and behold, the school never sent the 1098 to the IRS. So the IRS says, prove that you got a 1098. So that is in the envelope and going to the IRS tomorrow. But, I keep everything really organized. So when I went to my box or boxes where all the basically tax forms, receipts, all that stuff is stored, I'm going, okay, 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got to 2010 and it went to 2011. And you're like, huh? Where's those tax returns? And dig through and you're like, you go into this like panic because you think it's in a specific box and it's not. And I keep in a specific storage place for everything here. And I had my son and we went through and we couldn't find it. And I was tearing stuff up. And I said to my wife, do you know where the 2010 tax return is? She goes, well, there is one box. It's over here on the corner that's got some papers in it. And it basically was not in the place it should be. But as soon as I opened the box up, I was like, whew. And then within minutes, I found the form. So hopefully that satisfies them. And but, you hate that you see that letter come from the IRS and you're like, oh, no, what do they want? So this was a pretty easy one, but hopefully a win for the home team, and I won't have to write them a check for $891. I just want to let you know, too, we did an update to the TriCaster, and everything seems to be holding with the new software update. We haven't had any more issues, so I'm really pleased. As much as that doggone thing cost, I'm hoping we're not going to have any more problems. And what it was is it was basically getting to about an hour and 15 minutes, and it didn't want to record anymore, and that's not what it's supposed to do. But we've been working it here over the last couple of days, and everything is great. Hey, I've got a couple of inquiries on graphics for the Ohanosaurus back here. So if you're wanting to submit graphics for the Ohanosaurus, 1920 by 1080 is the screen size I'm going to need to basically put the graphics up back there. So definitely feel free to contribute something to the show if you want, and it'd be greatly appreciated. So what I want to do tonight is something completely different, and something I've been thinking about for a while. And part of it was prompted because I've had an electrician in the house. We've been doing some updates, and I've been consolidating a bunch of stuff that I've had kind of accumulating over the past couple of years. And all the stuff that I'm going to talk about tonight is nothing's really older than about a year and a half, maybe maximum. Some of it's almost brand new. Some of it could be 18 months. Most of the stuff we're going to be talking about is new. And there's a couple of used items, but otherwise we're going to have a real cool promotion. Every time we go to Japan, in and around Christmas or New Year's times, the stores there have this, basically it's a grab bag event. And I think they have these in the United States from time to time too. In some stores, you go in, you pay a flat rate, and you get a bag. And usually the bags have pretty good value of stuff in, and you very rarely get less than the value than what you paid for the bag, but you have no idea what's in it. And they'll kind of tell you in advance the type of stuff that's going to be in it, but you never quite know. And sometimes you can hit the jackpot and really score large. You can get several $1,000s worth of stuff for spending, $40 or $50 or whatever it may be. So what we're going to do is we're going to have something for our insiders. And you guys know that we've had the insider program for a couple of years. I haven't done a lot with it, but everyone that's an insider already, you're grandfathered, and you guys are automatically going to be in the first drawing on Monday. So that, you're already locked in. You don't have to worry. You don't have to do anything more. But what we're going to do is we're going to give away a huge amount of prizes. And let me just give you an idea what we're going to give away. We're going to give away laptop stands, Pogo plugs, Apple TVs, Google TVs. We're going to give up label writers. We're going to give away hardware like a Windows Home servers, Drobos, variety of electronics, monitors, mixers, backpacks, computer bags, tripods. And for the cigar lovers, we're going to give away 5 world-class cigars from my humidor that's behind me. We're going to give away some GPSs, some Mac Mini, and at the very end, we're going to give away cash. And I'm going to have 3 checks in an envelope. 1 check for $250, 1 check for $500, and another check for $1,000. So we're going to give away, probably all told, I kind of did a rough, maybe $3,000 to $5,000 worth of stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is how we're going to work this. If you're currently on the $2 a month plan, you're going to get entered once, but you're going to be in the hat the entire time. If you're a $5 a month contributor, you're going to get 2 entries into the hat. If you're a $10 a month contributor, you're going to get 3. And if you're a $25 a month contributor, you're going to get 4. And anyone that has given $500 or more to the show up to this point is going to be in the grab bag 5 times. We're going to be in the bag 5 times. So what we're going to do is anyone from this point forward, if you're going to have to pony up for a full year in order to be entered. So you just can't come in and do a $2 donation and sign up for the $2 plan. You're going to have to do a one-time donation of $24, $60, $120, or $300 or more. Okay. And once you're in, okay, so if you the minimum buy-in's $24 and to a maximum buy-in of whatever you want to go, but the most you can get is 5 draws if you put in more than $500 to the show. So what we're going to do is each time we raise $1,000, and when we hit $1,000 mark, we're going to give away a prize. And my goal is when we hit the goal is to raise 25 grand between now and show 800. So that gives us a couple of months to do this. And if I need to adjust, I will. The main thing is all the stuff has got to go. So what my wife's going to do and kids are going to do is over the next couple of days, they're going to box all this stuff up and get it ready to ship. And they're going to put numbers on it. I'm going to take a picture of the entire stack of stuff, and each one's going to have a number in it. And I'm not going to know what's in the box. And then we're going to randomly pick the box that's going to basically, as soon as we do a draw, we'll send that box to the winner. And then we'll let the person call into the show and tell us what they got, what was in their grab bag, so that you guys will know as this process goes down the road, what's still left. And I'll get a list of the full list of stuff we're going to give away. But the best thing to do is to get in early. You get in early, that way you're in for the whole time as we're doing this promotion. So, again, Pogo Plug, Apple TVs, Google TVs, label writers from Dynamo, Windows Home Server, Drobo, a variety of electronics, monitors, scanners, microphones, mixers, backpacks, computer bags, tripods, Garmin GPS, Mac Mini. It's all going to be a variety of stuff. And I would say the lowest item on this list is probably $60 or $70, with a medium well over 100. So, and again, at the end, those 3 checks. And what we're going to do is essentially we're going to give those 3 checks. Everyone is going to be in, because by that time, everyone will be in for the giveaway. And we'll give those 3 checks away. And so all told, we're going to give a bunch of money. But the goal is to try to raise 25 grand for the show. And it's going to be able to do some cool things we want to do as we move the show forward through the rest of the year and into early next year. So we hope that you'll become involved. All you got to do is go to geeknewscentral.com/insider, contribute. And again, you can't just do the $2 deal. You have to do the full year. You have to do $24. There's a place on there to do a one-time donation. So, again, the only people that are grandfathered already, where they don't have to contribute any more money, that are already in, are the folks that are already in as an insider right now, right at this very moment. And I've got the full list of people that are in there. So this is just a different way of kind of giving some stuff away, helping raise some money for the show, and sometimes giving back to you guys. And we're going to have a little fun with this thing. There's going to be no bozo prizes. There's not going to be anybody that's going to get anything that's junk. No one that's going to get something that's full of clothes or nothing like that. Everything's going to be a legitimate electronic item that works, that is new, or maybe I took it out of the box to review it or something. So that's the plan, and that's what we're going to do, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this. So I'll probably just put the information up on the Insider website, and I'm not going to talk about it a lot more during the show, but we're going to give away some prizes, and basically this is kind of the way we're doing it. It's a give and take on my part, and I hope that you guys think it's a cool promotion, and we'll have a lot of fun with it, irregardless. And I'm going to tell you, those 5 cigars are definitely world class. Very tasty. If you don't smoke, I'm sure you know someone that would like them, and they'll hold until the holidays. So don't worry, we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. Okay, so that's basically what's going on, and we're gonna go ahead and get into the regular content on the show tonight. We got a lot of tech to talk about, a lot of stuff going on in the space, and let me look at my list here. So I had a few people that bounced out of the chat room. No, no comments, guys. What do you think about the planned giveaway? Is it worth a shot here? So, okay. So let me go ahead and open up and see what I've got here. Got that. Good. Okay. Let me go ahead and open up the browser here so we can get into the full show content. Again, if you got comments on tonight's show, don't forget here, the easiest way is Twitter is at Geek News. Of course, you can email me, geeknews@gmail.com, and the show hotline is 619-342-7365. Well, it didn't take too long for rumors to hit the street, because the folks at Apple have apparently been awarded a patent. And it has something to do with glasses, and maybe eyeglass. The Google Project Glass is well underway. They've been testing it. They're getting ready to release the initial set of glasses to developers over at Google. But the rumor on the street is, because of this new patent that Apple has been awarded, that they may be working on their own wearable version of the iPad one day. And so, that'd be kind of a cool runoff, right? And it's not surprising that they're looking at this, but Apple's patent describes a method in which image travels through a special glass to land directly into the user's pupils. This, in theory, will provide an illusion of total immersion. And unlike the Google Project Glass, a theoretical eyeglass would use 2 head-up displays, not just one. And Apple's patent says that the dual projectors would provide the user with a total immersive experience, which in addition would avoid motion sickness because it would use stereoscopic projection. I've heard those types of words before, stereoscopic. I've heard those types of stuff, and it usually ends up being vaporware. So anytime I see a word like that, it makes you go, The patent claims this method will also enable the specs to greatly fill the user's field of view and increase the quality of the image. So this doesn't sound like something you would wear while you're on a set of roller skates or on a skateboard or jumping out of an airplane. Looks like something that you would watch in an airplane, but as you're sitting in a seat staring off into the distance. But they have been issued a patent on this, so we'll see where this goes. And just like anything else, it's probably a long way off. All right, those of you that live in Texas, Time Warner Cable has basically finally done it. They are offering a broadband tiered pricing. Now, this is a twist. They've changed the way they're doing things, and it basically has what's called the Essentials tier. If you opt for this Essentials tier, you basically agreeing that you're going to use less than 5 gigs of data per month. You're going to get a $5 discount off Time Warner's monthly price. And if you go over the 5 gig limit, you're going to have to shell out $1 a gig with a maximum of $25 in surcharges. Now, they're not taking away their unlimited data plans with the variety of speed levels. So like here in Hawaii right now, I can get 3 megs up and 50 megs down And believe me, I'm loving that based on what we had before. And it only cost me out, I think, a couple $100 for that pleasure. But long story short here, they're not getting away with the unlimited plans as of yet. So I guess those of you that decide to go with, and here's the weird thing, they're only giving $5 off the monthly price if you agree to use less than 5 gigs. But where this could get real scary expensive is that very quickly, if you're not really watching what you're doing, you're already paying let's say that cable package or that broadband package is $40. Their base package for internet. You subtract that, that's 35. Okay, so now you go over by 5 megs. You're back up to even Steven. So you really would be even at 10 gigs. And then you're really penalized for anything beyond 10 gigs. You wouldn't be saving any money. So how they're going to make this work is beyond me, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless they're going to offer a super cheap plan for that's a lot cheaper than what they're currently offering. Now, they're not saying that they are. Now, the TWC Time Warner Cable Essentials was first introduced in February in San Antonio, Laredo, Corpus Christi, Rio Grande Valley. Now it's being expanded to Austin, Dallas, and a variety of other locations, big city locations in, I believe, Houston as well. So, this is a move here now. Is this step one? Have they decided to go ahead and kind of get our feet wet and let us bake on this for a while, and then down the road say, oh, by the way, our unlimited plans, they're not unlimited anymore. And you're limited by the number of gigs you're going to use. And if you go over, you're going to pay this extra amount at $1 a gig or something. What really irritates you? The type of bandwidth that they're moving. Their true cost for 1 gig is probably close to a cent or two. And really, that's probably their cost, is what it costs them to actually move that data, is a cent or two, maybe not even that much. So this is just ridiculous. It really is, on what they're coming up with. But they see big dollar signs as people start using more data. They want to get more of your money as you start cutting back on cable television. And that's where this thing's headed. Okay, Samsung Galaxy has powered a record $5.9 billion in profit. So this Galaxy smartphone has had an overwhelming success for Samsung. They are quite pleased with the sales. And, of course, the ongoing stuff going on with lawsuits right now probably has got them a little worried, along with Google and everyone else and all this patent crap that's going on. And basically they're shutting down. Judges are putting injunctions in place, and Apple had to put up like $97 million bond in part of the injunction against Google and Samsung. So we'll see where this goes. None of it's good, quite honestly. But Samsung worldwide, again, $5.9 billion profit on the Galaxy. And they're a little bit worried about the European Union and the Eurozone, largely because of the uncertainty over there with all the chaos that's going on with the markets and so forth. So we'll see where this goes, and see how Samsung does in the next quarter. But at least this quarter, they turned a profit. Now, sadly, Microsoft is confirmed, and this is moving to the next story, obviously. Microsoft is confirming, and this is why that the home server that I'm going to give away as part of our giveaway is going to have some value. Microsoft is confirming that there's going to be no more versions of home server. They're going to be rolling home server into Windows Server 2012 Essentials. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have your own box or computer with enough storage to basically act as a small home server or a business server. And I haven't priced what Windows Server Essential is going to be. And let's see if we can see what the price on that is. The SKU, do they have the SKU on that? Windows Home Server. Oh my goodness. Essentials. Holy smacks. $425 for a license on that. So it's again for small business or home environments, simple interface, pre-configured, cloud-based services, no virtualization rights. So pre-configured connectivity, excuse me, to cloud-based. So it is what it is. But I'd be honest with you, I really love Windows Home Server. The one I'm giving away is the one basically I've got two of them, and I don't need two here. And it keeps all my machines backed up, all my Windows machines backed up. It keeps my Macs backed up too. And I've had drives go bad in a Windows machine. Recently I had a Dell laptop that spun a drive, and basically I stuck a new hard drive in it, booted from its recovery disk, and really within about 2 hours the machine was back up and running just the way it was the night before the drive blew out. So I really have loved the ability to be able to come back quickly on a machine that's went down. It's worked out really good here for my situation. Now, here's the deal, though. They're saying that the end of life for the product is going to go on for a while. It's going to remain as an available OEM embedded product until late. They're saying December 31st, 2025. That makes me like, really? They never support nothing that long, and remain available in all their current channels until December 31st, 2013. So, it's going to be in an OEM embedded product. So maybe we're going to have other companies making it. But how long is that going to be viable without a new update to the app, to the software? So, I'm sure it'll be good for a few years, but I'm sure most of us that need a solution are going to have to pump up to the Windows Service 2012 Essentials, or just completely put everything in the cloud. And you guys know I use Carbonite, I use a variety of different services as well. But let's be just straight up. Having on site the ability to rebuild a machine in just a couple of hours, it would take me multiples of hours to rebuild a machine where the data was stored in the cloud. And I'm horrible about like storing disk and stuff like that. I got a shelf over there that's full of computer disk and everything else, and it just makes so much more sense to have the ability to rebuild on the fly. And it's brainless. I don't have to think about it. It's backed up. It's done. I don't have to worry. It's RAID compliant. I've had that machine blow a drive before, stuck another drive in, lost no data. So it just works. I feel bad about losing updates to Windows Home Server, but that's what Microsoft has decided here. I talked just a moment about earlier on about this litigation that's been going on, and the judge that threw out Apple's patent suit against Motorola has called into question the entire U.S. patent system, comparing patent litigants to violent beasts. He says it's a constant struggle for survival, Judge Richard Posner said in an interview with Reuters. As in any jungle, the animals will use all the means at their disposal. All their teeth and claws are permitted by the ecosystem. He says Posner feels the law of the jungle is flawed. It's not clear that we really need patents in most industries. He says patents may be okay for pharmaceuticals, he said, because producing a single drug might take many years, but innovation in the software market happens so rapidly that patent protection is probably not needed. And I have to agree. It's just, you look what, we're going to have phones and tablets that are not going to be on market on time. They're going to have to change functionality to avoid patent litigation. It's ridiculous. It really is. And let's compete on services and products and features and what's cool. Don't hold something for market just because you're mad because something that's in there looks a little bit like something you did yourself. All right, this has been all over the news. I think this is a little overrated. And let me bring this up. The Register has this, and all of us that are good geeks, those who've been listening to this show for a while, already know about this. But the DNS changer shutdown may kick 300,000 people offline. I heard 65,000 from someone on CNN. I heard 85,000 from somebody on Fox. No one knows the number, but an estimated 300,000 computer connections are going to get scrambled with no DNS server. when the FBI turns off the command and control server for the DNS changer botnet on Monday. They're going to turn that off at midnight. But the government says that there's still 867,000 infected systems out there. And that's a pretty big number. So checking for the infection is simple. This is a piece of cake. If you haven't checked your machines already, links on the FBI and the DCWG site will allow users to be scanned for the malware automatically, and fixes are available for Windows systems down to and including XP. The security software vendors have had patches out for a long time. So anyway, I'll have this link up in the show notes. And, if you've got anybody that you think needs to be checked, please do. But we'll see how many people are screaming come next week when they shut that DNS server down and people no longer can access Google or any of their other websites. Hey, big news for those of you that are have hearing impairments. Google Hangout group video chats can now follow a conversation through live captions thanks to a new Google app released on Thursday at the National Association of the Deaf's annual conference in Louisville, Kentucky. It's called Hangout Captions. So this is really awesome for the hearing impaired. And so it's basically a closed captioning system for them. I don't know how effective it is and how well it's going to work. They found this over at gigaohm.com as the source for this article. But there's a cool video about it and how it works and how it shows up. But those of you that are hearing impaired will be able to hopefully get a good translation of what's being said in the actual group. And I think it's all software driven, so be aware of that, okay? All right, let's move on here to the next article. Actually, someone put together a Pinterest site that's basically entitled Microsoft Morgue. Google killed a bunch of products. We'll talk about that here in a little bit later in the show. But Microsoft has had its share of stuff that it's killed as well. They've killed Joystick. They've killed in-game ad unit. They've killed Equipped. They discontinued OneCare. Just on and on. Office Accounting Professional, Urge, Zune, Soapbox, all kinds of products that Microsoft has killed throughout the years. And we're all complaining about what's happening with Google and them killing off products. But Microsoft has had its fair share as well. And, shouldn't come as a surprise. Companies have to consolidate where they need to. But the loss of iGoogle has many of you very upset. Before we get into that, though, this article over on Ars Technica has me really excited. And I tell you, those of you that are ham radio operators, or those of you that like to totally geek out, software-defined radio could revolutionize wireless. And really what I want you guys to do, you need to read this article. And this is awesome, what they have done. It's software-defined radio. Think, what does that mean, Todd? Traditional radio chips are hardwired to communicate with one specific protocol. For example, a typical cell phone has several different chips to handle a variety of radio communications. One to talk to cell phone towers, another to contact Wi-Fi base stations, a third to receive GPS signals, and of course a fourth to communicate with Bluetooth devices. And what basically happens with a software-defined radio is the hardware works with raw electromagnetic signals, relying on software to implement specific applications. And they've come up with some very cool product. And they've come up with the Universal Software Radio Peripheral. Let me scan down in this article. And basically what they've got, and see if I can show you guys, there's a better picture on the second page. And it's basically a card that just basically sticks into your computer. You can program this thing. It's got FGPAs and all kinds of cool stuff. And it transmits at a very low power. So and it's basically supposed to be used for lab use. That's how they're getting away with this, from basically not getting in trouble with the FCC. But this is going to be very cool for those of you that like to hack stuff up, like to mess with radio. The ham folks out there are going to go absolute crazy on this thing. The base price to get involved is about $750. A little higher price is around 1,500, depending on what you're getting. But really, this could turn into Pirate Radio 2.0, one that's legal, as long as you don't boost the power on the thing, and could be a lot of fun. It really could. So if you've got some programming skills, Ruby on Rails, that type of stuff, this will be the project for you. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of collaborative stuff as well. All right, moving on to a new topic. There's first Trojan to appear in the iOS store, one slipped by Apple. And basically, it was called Find and Call. It's already been removed from the App Store. But basically, what this thing did was download your contact list and then starting sending SMS messages to everyone in your phone book. So the folks at Apple killed this thing, but it was a malicious app, and they were sending all kinds of messages like buy this, buy that, and larger bit pills and different types of things. So, but interesting with the level of QA that Apple does. You just wonder who missed this one. But they did. Now, there was also some issues over at Apple. They basically were having a Fair Play DRM issue in the delivery of apps. And what was going on is there was about 300 to 500 apps that were on a list that had got updated between like July 2nd and maybe even as late as today. And basically, you'd get the app, you'd load it, and it would just crash. I mean, you've seen that happen with the apps before. You start them, and then just poof, they kind of disappear. So Apple got this fixed, but they had some major issues, and lots of apps were affected. And Apple really didn't admit it for the first couple of days, but this is the first time that something on Apple's end has botched the updates of apps and was really causing them to basically disintegrate on themselves when they were launched within the phone. But they have updated, and all these developers are basically encouraging people to update their apps when they see them that they're available so that they work. All right, we talked about in the last show the issue with Cisco and their little games they've been playing with the owners of a certain series of routers, specifically the EA3500 to 5500, I believe. There's a good article on Ars Tech talking about how to roll back your firmware and ditching this Connect Cloud update that they forced on the people. So I have that link up in the show notes so you can basically get your modem, your router back to where it was and turn off that auto update feature as well. One thing that my grandfathers always complained about, and they were both wearing hearing aids, was that the hearing aids were a pain in the butt to deal with. Anytime it needed to be tuned, they had to go see the doctor. The doctor had to make adjustments, and then they were usually back in the office 2 or 3 days later. But what's going on now are some folks are needing hearing aids at a much younger age, and they're starting to basically hack hearing aids, allowing people to fine-tune their own devices, sometimes with mobile phones or with a software application on their computer. And, when folks that are 70 years old, they're not going to want to have to deal with that. They're still going to have to make the trips to the hospital, or to their doctor to get things updated. But young people who are growing up with computers and have smartphones have the desire to control more over their devices, and they want a more sophisticated hearing aid. So there's some do-it-yourself designs going down, and this is kind of a cool thing. Here we're going to be getting into, we're into boomer age at this point. I'm right at the very last year of what is technically defined as the boomer generation or the boomer years. And so you got all these folks older than me that are retiring. They're all well connected. They're using smartphones. Most of these folks are on the internet. So they're all going to be needing these medical devices, and nothing like having stuff that's going to be super connected. So this is going to be really cool as we all get older and need those assisted devices to help us hear, see, and everything else that we need as the body does what it does. Um, we're going to be able to make adjustments on our own without having to go see that doctor who's going to 90% of the time not know what we really need to have adjusted in the first place. So we'll see where this goes. But it's going to be really fun to watch it over the next number of years. All right, you live in Washington State. If you get stopped by the cops and they take your phone and they look through your text messages and they think you're doing something like dealing or some other type of nefarious activity that could be used to entrap someone else, essentially what happened here a while back is police had arrested an individual on drug charges. And with one officer searching through the guy's text messages, he found some suspicious messages from another person who basically was obviously getting drugs from this guy. So he texted the guy from the person that they've arrested's phone, say, "Hey, you want some more stuff?" And he responded, "Yeah, I do." And basically, the officers were able to arrest the client and charge him with possession or attempted possession of heroin. So basically, where it's come down is the Washington State of Appeals has agreed that there's no reasonable expectation of privacy. So this is big. There is no reasonable expectation of privacy with text messages, just as there isn't with voice messages left on an answering machine that could be overheard by anyone. Court also said that that the individual that was being arrested had implicitly given his consent to the use of the text messages because he understood that they're automatically recorded and stored on the device. So what is on your phone can and will be used against you in a court of law, and it may be used to text or call or be utilized to entrap or to get someone else to incriminate themselves. So just be aware, and I know that we're all outstanding citizens, and we're not going to get arrested for drug charges, but this could move into many different areas. It could move into work conversations, you name it. There's just what you think about what's on your cell phone and the text message you've sent. Would you want the police to look at any of those? And I think probably some folks would have stuff on there. They would go, probably not. If nothing else, from just a privacy standpoint between maybe a girlfriend or a wife or whatever else. But delete them, okay? Not to say that can't go back and get them from the telephone company with a warrant, but at least they won't be immediately on your phone. All right, BitTorrent traffic is increased in Europe following the blockade of the Pirate Bay. This is not surprising. Of course, there was lots of news made about the blocking of the Pirate Bay. And basically what's going on here is with the news that the traffic is up from the same countries that are blocking the Pirate Bay. Of course, the RAAA, MPAA, and so forth are losing their minds. But we know that some Dutch ISPs and some UK ISPs were required to block the Pirate Bay, but it had no effect on the total amount of BitTorrent traffic. Actually, it went up from those same countries as well. So this is just makes you kind of laugh and say you can go ahead and put all these things in, all these software blocks, but as long as people have access to proxy servers and so forth, they'll never stop people from getting access to certain websites without them actually just cutting the internet off completely. So we'll see how this goes, but that's the latest news. I didn't get this press release, but apparently Ford is working on some sensors in your car. And I'm going to have to reach out to my Ford friends and find out really what the story here is. But Ford is basically saying that they're going to be initiating what's called smart car locks for your phone. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to lock your phone when you're stressed or distracted. They're going to have temperature sensing, ambient temperature sensing, heart rate monitoring, respiration, and I guess they're going to use certain signs determine when a driver's distracted or having issues, and they're going to lock down the phone. And they're going to look at vehicle response, driver cabin activity, the environment on the road, the biometric operations. Basically, again, they're going to tie this all together. And at some point, the software is going to say, you should be driving and not talking. And they've got a pretty cool graphic here that shows how they're going to do that. So if it feels that you're not responding on a curve, or you're drifting a little bit while you're driving, if you're not pressing on the brake when you should be, or there's lots of cars, they're just going to shut your phone down. And so this is kind of an interesting move here. And of course, I don't know where they're at in this development, but we all know that the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, then NHTSA, is really wanting to forbid any type of discussions or hands-free talking going on in a vehicle. So I think what Ford is trying to do here is they're trying to be more productive. How come I lost a camera? Well, that's weird. Let's see what happened there. Did I not have a power switch turned on? Huh. How long did that go out? I lost 2 cameras. Uh-huh. I think I know what happened. Oh, that's... I'm going to have to yell at someone in the other room. I know exactly what happened. How long were we dark? Well, that wasn't cool. So, let me go ahead and change gears here. Oh, that surprised me. It really did. Boy. All right. Reports out of CERN that they have found the Higgs boson God particle, and I really hate that they call it that. But scientists at CERN in Switzerland have announced the discovery of a new elementary particle, the first new particle since the Z boson was discovered way back in 1983. Now, they're not calling this the Higgs boson, but rather a particle consistent with what the Higgs boson is theorized to be. It's entirely possible, though unlikely, that CERN has discovered another particle. They're pretty excited about this, and they had a big press release on it. I'm sure you guys have seen this in the news, but, well, at least they didn't create a black hole and have us all get sucked up into it. So, anyway, they've found a couple other things, too, that they're going to investigate. All right, hey, this Mars rover, it's come up with this stunning close-up of Mars. And let me see if I can bring up this whole image here. I don't know if I can load the full image or not. No. I'll have a link up in the show notes for you guys. But the Mars released an image that combines 817 component image taken between December 21st, 2011 and May 8th, 2012 by the rover Opportunity. And this is one of the most detailed images that it's taken. And so it's pretty cool. It's a nice picture, and you'll definitely want to go over to the NASA website and do a close-up of this and take a look. But very awesome, and it shows that the rovers are still cranking out cool stuff. Okay, lots of sunspot activity going on, and a big spot that is not necessarily pointed right at Earth at this point is making its way towards an alignment that could end up getting us blasted a few times. But the sun fired off another intense solar flare today. This is the latest in series of storms from a busy sunspot being watched by space astronomers. And so it had a M6.1 flare, and basically triggered a moderate radio blackout that has since subsided. So we got a little bit of a glancing blow on this, not one that was direct on. All right. this is a story that I think applies to all of us. In Holland, a major ISP has been found a major security flaw for their customers. It seems the customers have had the same default password that basically the company gave them when they signed up for an account. Up to 140,000 customers had retained their default passwords. Once inside attackers could have found bank account, credit card numbers. So basically, KPN, the ISP, has since changed all of the passwords. They don't think anyone has been spotted, but 140,000 people failed to change the default password that was assigned to them by their ISP. That is just simply remarkable. And but good on them for changing it, but they'll never know. Those folks will never know if their data was actually being spied upon or not. All right, the Nexus Q. Boy, oh boy, the folks over at iFixit, iFixit.com, was able to score themselves a Nexus Q, and they tore one down. And let me show you some of these images here. It's they got all the breakdown of exactly what this thing is capable of. It shows the construction, and they go into great detail and show some great pictures of and the tools used to break it down. And really, it looks like the teardown was relatively simple. And love seeing these types of breakdowns because it points out each piece, what it does. It talks about the memory, the circuit card, interconnection cables, and so forth. But for those of you that are listening, you're going to want to go over to the iFixit site. Link will be up in the show notes and look at this teardown. If this is just a cool thing to see as a geek. It's a cool thing to see these devices being tore apart and look at the engineering that has went into building them and the interconnects. It always really does amaze me. And it's, I like these companies that are iFixit specifically that does this. And they said this one is got a pretty high score from a repairability standpoint. This is the Olympics is coming, and for the first time ever, they're going to be a gentleman that's running for, I believe is he from South Africa? No, South America. Where's he from? There's a guy that's named Oscar Pistorius. He's known as the Blade Runner. He's going to be competing in the London Olympics. He was selected for the 4x400 relay, and he is from South Africa, but he's a double amputee, and he's going to be running, and so this is this interesting move. For the first time, we're going to have a double amputee running in the Olympics, and he runs on carbon fiber blades, and but this is an interesting move here, and by the folks at the Olympics to approve him. I think this is awesome. I really do. And here's the reason why. It changes the dynamic, right? You've got all the runners that are going to be running have both their feet. And here you've got a double amputee that's going to be running on artificial legs or, basically carbon fiber running apparatus. And some people may say, well, this gives this guy an unfair advantage. I think him just qualifying for the Olympics is and making the team. I don't care what anybody else says. I think this is awesome. And we will see how this turns out. But I'm sure he's going to get a lot of publicity at London 2012. And I definitely want to see highlights of this guy running in the 4x400. I think it's going to be awesome. It shows you that anything is possible in this day and age. And it's cool that he's being allowed and that he qualifies and that the Olympic folks are not being so, how should I say it, ignorant. I'm glad they're open to a handicapped person like this running. And I hope he does well. You guys remember when I was at CES, we covered the the Parrot ZIK. This was a headset that I had some questions about that wondering if people would actually buy. This is available. It's going to be delivering in August. It includes an iOS app and an Android app as well, and it's $3.99. And these things are pretty cool looking. I put a pair of them on, and these things are, they've been designed by Philip Stark, and they are pricey. I just it's a lot of money for a headset, but it's got a kind of cool app. But $3.99 is a lot of money for a headset. They're wireless, but they're styling, that's for sure. So I put a pair of these on and listened to them. They sounded nice, but $3.99 is a lot of money for a pair of headsets. Okay, so let me go ahead and switch gears here. I want to remind you that the Gadget Professor put out a new show today. He put basically it's Gadget Professor number 64. LED rope lights is the title of the show. So definitely check out the Gadget Professor over at Geek News Central. And of course, we've got Langley with the Robot Underpants number 57. He covers in his show Ghostbusters 3, Hulk smashes T-Mobile, Higgs boson. So definitely check that. He did a hangout, and so this is a pretty cool episode. So definitely give that a try. And we had one last article at Geek News Central that I want to talk a little bit about. We started to talk about it earlier in the show. This was written up by our very own Alan Buckingham, and he talks about the decision by Google to drop iGoogle. Basically, they're doing spring cleaning in the summer, and they've gotten rid of a bunch of services. So here's what's basically on the chopping block: Google Mini, Google Talk Chatback, Google Video, and Symbian Search App, and of course iGoogle. And iGoogle is going to be discontinued on November 1st, 2013. So you got some time, a little over a year, to wean yourself off of iGoogle. But a lot of people were really upset. This got a huge amount of comments on Geek News Central, a lot of tweets. We got a lot of traffic on this, as well as other sites did as well. But pretty sad here that iGoogle is going away. But they made the decision to pull the plug. All right, ladies, this is a very interesting one. And when I read this article over on the telegraph.co.uk, it made me take pause. And here's the title of the article. It says, "Women could delay menopause indefinitely with ovary transplant." So what's going on here is they have a technique to remove pieces of ovary, then they can store it for decades and then replace it with a delicate surgery and basically put a woman's menopause on ice. They say that the only thing preventing women from having babies in their older age would be their physical ability to carry a pregnancy. And so what's going on is they have now had a confirmed 28 babies that are born worldwide to patients who either had their own ovarian tissue removed before treatment that would have left them infertile and replaced afterwards, or from twins where one donated tissue to the other. So, I'm not completely up to speed on the human body when it comes to how this tissue transplant works, but apparently there's been 11 women in St. Luke's Hospital in St. Louis, Missouri, who basically has done these ovarian tissue transplants, or storage and then reinsertion. So this is some amazing stuff here, and menopause has its own complications for women, and I'll be honest with you, they think here that they may. Of course, some women consider it a good thing, some consider it a curse, but some women say that they essentially can put off menopause until very late in life, which is an interesting a change here as well. So anyway, I have the link up in the show notes. I'm sure the ladies will want to check that out. It's definitely a unique move, And basically, it's got some promise for some folks that have fertility challenges, especially women that have fertility challenges that may have a sister or a twin. So exciting stuff, really, really is. All right, robots are starting to tackle deadly lab work. There's a very cool video demoing what robots are now able to do in labs. Some of the typical stuff that they, working in dangerous labs with test tubes and chemicals and all kinds of stuff. So I have that link up in the show notes for you to check out. Just watch this robot. This robot is really smart, and I can see some lab technicians going, "Oh no, this thing's going to replace my job." But definitely in those environments where very dangerous chemicals are being used, this could be a big safety factor for folks working in those industries. All right, in 1971, NORAD announced a global nuclear war. At 10:33 a.m., teletypes in every single radio and television station across the country began to jingle and ring to announce an incoming message that nobody had ever received before. And the message it received, this is an emergency action notification directed by the president. Normal broadcasting will cease immediately. All stations will broadcast the emergency message, one preceded by the attention signal. Per FCC rules, only stations holding NDEA may stay on the air in accordance with their state EBS plan. And then it goes on to basically send a message. And basically they issued a, hey, we're at war. Yeah. And this went on for a few minutes before someone at NORAD realized that they had basically initiated the civil defense system, and it took 45 minutes for them to cancel and basically say, cancel message sent at 0933, repeat cancel message sent at 0933. And meanwhile, a bunch of stations went and were making these broadcast announcements. So here's the crazy part. I never, ever have heard about this. This is an article over on Gizmodo. Fascinating read. February 20th, 1971 at 10:33 a.m. A bunch of people got their wits scared out of them. Basically, they thought the country was under attack. So makes you go, It really does. But apparently some guy loaded the wrong tape in the wrong system, and it sent out the message it was not supposed to be sent. Gizmodo also has an article, do you live near an infectious human animal disease hotspot? And they've got hotspots around the world that show probably where you shouldn't be living. If there is there's been issues in the past. And this is an interesting chart. There's nothing in the Hawaiian Islands, but plenty of stuff in North America. I'll have the link up in the show notes for you, those of you that are interested in this kind of a topic. All right, car manufacturers are planning for when cars are all going to be connected, when cars will have built-in Wi-Fi, when they'll all be up on LTE, when they will all be communicating with one another. Lots of studies and questions and scenarios are being put forth by a variety of researchers. MIT is working on the issue as well. And so, they're trying to come up with, how vehicles are going to communicate with one another, the type of algorithms we're going to need, how you're going to deal with network congestion. Will Wi-Fi really work, or is there going to have to be some other type of signal? And can vehicles or chains of vehicles be used to extend mobile networks and so forth? So this is some cool stuff to think about. And the big brains are going to be thinking about this for a long time, but it won't be long before our vehicles are all be talking to one another. That's for sure. And probably spying on us as well. We get over speed and, tickets issued to us in our vehicle. That was in a specific movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger was in a number of years ago. But we could see, our vehicles really becoming more aware, which is good and bad, I guess. And the Americans are not real big on people wanting their vehicles to be aware. But most vehicles today have essentially black boxes in them. So, and that black box will and can be used against you in a court of law. So be aware of that. All right, over on the BBC, Facebook is taking a page out of the Google playbook, and they are investing in a Asia Pacific Gateway underwater internet cable. So they are contributing about $450 million in cash to get a piece of this underwater cable. And obviously it's fiber, so they're looking to essentially, um, get some pipe of their own that they'll be able to own and won't have to pay for backhaul. All right, a couple of gadgets for you to think about. We're all probably get families that have 3, 4, 5 cell phones or different devices all need charging. So if you have some issues, if you need a supercharger, there's a great dock available for $99. You can charge a variety of different phones. It looks semi-styling. You can charge an iPad and 4 phones at once on this dock. So if it's smart enough, hopefully it would shut off a charger when a phone was done charging. It wouldn't sit there and continue to draw power. But that's one of the devices that's available. And for those of you that bike and have to carry your bikes up steps and so forth, I got a perfect device for you. It's called the Simple Handle, and it basically attaches to your bike and makes it much easier for you to carry your bike upstairs and so forth if you live in a condo and need to have a storage. That's available for $30. All that, again, is going to be over at ogizmo.com, but I have the link up in the show notes. All right, final article for tonight, and we'll get into some email. I think we got some email to cover. Apple is tweaking the Genius bars in its Apple stores and basically giving more room. And so basically they're trying to set these up so people have more spaces to talk with people and help folks that need assistance with their Macs or their iPads or whatever. But anyway, some cool stuff that they're obviously more demand, and they're definitely making more changes to the Apple stores on that behalf. All right, let me go ahead and load up the email tonight. I don't know how much we had come in. I really wasn't paying attention. Today is the 5th. The last show was on Monday, July 2nd. So just a couple of emails. Got an email here from Roger. Say, hey, Todd, someone may want to pay a little attention to this. Opera has built a full functional 64-bit browser for Windows 7. He says, I don't have any connections to Opera other than using the 64-bit version of the browser for a month or so, but it works well and does everything the 32-bit version does. Opera out in front again. I've been running Opera for over 10 years, Roger. And, oh, yeah, that was it. That was the only email that came in over the 4th of July holiday. Hey, I hope everyone had a good 4th of July. I hope you guys had fun. And, I hope everyone was safe out there. And maybe some of you are still enjoying a little extended week vacation or so. But send me some feedback. What do you think about this contest we're going to have? And I hope and encourage all of you to become insiders and get involved. Help the show. Help us raise a bunch of money so then we give away a bunch of cool prizes. And it's the first time we've done something this big. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if it, if we make our goal. We'll make adjustments to the plan as needed, but we're going to give away all this stuff. It's going to go one way or the other. But get in early, and that way you'll be. And again, we're not going to take any. Once a person wins something, their name will come out of the hat. But again, if they've made the bigger contribution, they're going to have 2, 3, 4 times as many chances to win additional products. And the cool thing is, no one's going to know what they're going to get. They're getting box 7. And I'm not even going to know because I'm going to let my family pack the boxes up. I'm just going to give them the stuff. And I'm going to say, pack it all up, put numbers on it. And then you're going to be as surprised as I am when stuff goes out. I kind of probably will know when I'm shipping it, but based on weight. But it should be a lot of fun. All right. It's been my pleasure to bring you the show tonight. Thanks so much. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Again, geeknews@gmail.com, Twitter @geeknews. And, of course, the hotline 619-342-7365. Don't forget our sponsor and our contest we're going to have for the giveaway at the end of the month. It's all kinds of coolness going on here at Geek News Center. Everyone take care. We'll see you next time. Aloha.